Patronauts. My name's Lauren Holtz. So the creature that I want to talk to you all about today is pretty misunderstood. The chicken of the woods, the smile cat, the monkey rat. Yep, you guessed it. It is the Virginia opossum. So if you've been around Schmeekly long enough and possibly stuck around after the sun's gone down at night, or maybe even looked in your own backyard, chances are that you've encountered this common mammal. They've learned to live in a lot of areas that are populated by people because they're a generous species. They will take advantage of things like dog food or cat food if you leave it out at night, and even splurge in the occasional trash bin. So the Virginia opossum was named after the Native American word opossum, which means white face, as you can see on this puppet here, as well as on our picture. Most of them have a dark gray color in their body and a white face that sticks out. They're a very non-aggressive and even beneficial species, but sometimes due to its looks and the fact that it's lurking around in the shadows, it is rather misunderstood and feared. So if you've seen them lurking around, chances are it's probably just out looking for its dinner. Oftentimes they have really bad eyesight as well as hearing, but they have a wonderful nose that they keep to the ground and look for some of their favorite foods, which include worms, mice, snakes, and even carrion, or dead animals, if you know what that is. Oftentimes they'll be found around roads looking at the roadkill, which unfortunately sometimes they turn into as well. So one of their favorite foods happens to be ticks. Yep, you heard me, those blood-sucking and disease-carrying pests that we've probably all pulled off of ourselves at some point. So instead of fearing possums, you should probably be pretty thankful for them. They can actually clear out around 5,000 ticks in a season. So they really help cut down on those pests. Despite eating ticks that carry diseases and dead animals, they actually have a really wonderful immune system. One of the best of the Native American mammals, actually. And they're actually even really resistant to snake venom. So as I said, that's one of their snacks that they like to munch on. And if they do end up biting down on a venomous snake and it bites them back, they're actually resistant to the venom unless it's a coral snake. That's the only one that it can't fend off. Other than that, people actually oftentimes mistake them for having rabies, and that's because when they approach them, they start to drool a lot and they start to growl. But this is actually one of their few defense mechanisms, which we probably all know is playing possum. So they usually are very non-aggressive, but if they're cornered or approached, like I said, they'll start to growl, they'll start to drool all over the place, and if they're stressed out enough, they'll actually involuntarily go unconscious. And during this unconscious state, it looks like they're playing dead. Their muscles actually clench up, they make little balls with their fists, and it looks like they're going into rigor mortis, but they're actually just trying to make the predator think that it's dead. So they'll actually start to smell like rotting flesh as well. They have some anal glands that release a certain chemical. So I don't know about you, but I probably wouldn't want to take a bite out of it, and most animals won't either. So while it might appear that they have rabies, it's just drooling because they're frightened. And as I was saying about resistance to disease, they're actually very resistant to rabies because they have a low body temperature. So chances are, if it's drooling, you really don't have to worry about it. Just leave it alone and it'll go on its merry way. So this time of year, actually, opossums will be having some of their babies. So between February and June, they have their young. And as many of you also know, they're the only North American marsupial. So when they have their young, they crawl up to a womb that is on the stomach. So we can see that right here. So the possum actually has about 20 young, and all those little guys will fit into about a teaspoon. So 20 of them can fit right into a teaspoon measuring cup. So they're absolutely tiny, and because of that, they're pretty much like embryos when they're born. They take about 2.5 months to live inside of the mom's pouch before they're big enough to come on out, catch a ride on the back, and learn a little bit about how to be an opossum. A couple of cool adaptations they have in order to survive is they have opposable thumbs, just like we do. And they also have this prehensile tail that they can use as a climbing guide as well. So what the opossum lacks in looks, it usually makes up for in really cool facts. So any questions? Awesome possum.